Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Premiere Next. In this video you are going to get all the information related to explanation of the DP Season 3 mid-credit scene. When we saw Cho Sik-bong arrive to see An Jung-ho during the mid-credits sequence of Season 2 of DP, the tragedy that had occurred at the conclusion of Season 1 of DP turned into some calm. Why didn't anyone take action to halt what was occurring to Cho Sik-bong? Is an important question that was addressed throughout Season 2 of DP. This was the second occasion when something stirred Jung-ho's conscience so deeply that he defied the army and the government and became deserter and borderline criminal. Their lighter that Jung-ho once gave Shin Woo-sik is evidently something he has always carried. He had never recovered from his demise and the part his carelessness had played in it. The operative term in this sentence is negligence, which was demonstrated by Jung-ho's decision to party with his senior, voluntarily or not, as opposed to carrying out his duty and seeking for the deserter. When Shin Woo-sik realized that DP was pursuing him, he decided to end his life. Woo-sik may still be alive if Jung-ho had persisted in seeking for him or had bothered to look up at the man to whom he had given the lighter. Jung-ho was extremely upset since this death may have been prevented. This may possibly be related to how Jung-ho was raised, witnessing his mother being mistreated by his father. Through various in-show cues, we can infer the following, but we do know that Jung-ho and his father most likely exchanged blows. It might possibly be one of the motives behind his early decision to take up boxing. He wanted to be able to defend his mother and himself. In the majority of Seasons 1 and 2 of DP, Jung-ho and his mother did not get along, and we have previously theorized that this could have resulted from victim blaming. Let's apply that idea to the circumstances surrounding Shin Woo-sik's passing. Jung-ho was unable to help this guy either, and he was obliged to admit that the man had likely made a decision that he thought was better than rejoining the army. And Jung-ho's question regarding Cho Sik-bong was not the first time. Since he joined the DP, he had been doing it. The fact that Cho Sik-bong had returned wasn't the most significant aspect of the mid-credits sequence. The fact that Jung-ho could look him in the eye and grin at him as an old friend and comrade with a clear conscience was what made this possible. Because DP Season 2 S central theme was conscience. Following what transpired with Rhode Island, the issue of right and wrong was no longer a personal one, but rather the focal point of every action. It was no longer possible to dismiss the significance of authority over life, a meaningless moral compass that insisted on avoiding unwarranted violence, or even merely the knowledge of outright cruelty. Not only Cho Sik-bong had sought to know why Han Ho-yeol and Jung-ho had not offered to assist him. The same applied to Rhode Island, whom the group had previously met, and the others who came after. It did not go well for Jung-ho when he attempted to defend Gi-yeong, and even Gi-yeong warned him that he would prefer it if he did not get involved the next time. What can a single person even accomplish when the issue is institutional? Is the answer to the bystanders' silent query. Allowing events to unfold was the best defense for both themselves and other people. But in Rhode Island's instance, it was shown that this conclusion was false. Jung-ho and the others would have lost the man to the shots fired to conceal the truth if they had chosen to ignore the strong plot against him. But the reason they succeeded in reaching Seo-yoon and ultimately saving Rhode Island from an unjust death was because they steadfastly pursued doing what was right. It wasn't a total defeat, even though he was still sentenced to military jail and many of his bullies got away with their crimes. The outcome of standing up for what is just was real. Na Young-seok's lawsuit was likely the second that began pressuring Jung-ho. This time, the bully was the victim for a change, but the manner in which his death was hushed up to protect the true victim, no less proved how rigged the system was. Jung-ho realized that he couldn't just sit around at this point, regardless of whether his rebellion was successful or not. Along with Han Ho-yeol, Park Byung-gu, and Lim Ji-seop, he had made a few measures to address the issues, but when these failed and justice was once more in jeopardy, Jung-ho did the only thing he could: he fled. In his battle to bring the USB to court, Jun-ho fought every bad guy. He had to fight his way out of impossible situations while having to face Shin Sang-woo and everyone else once more. Even Lim Ji-seop testified in court about how and why this was the government's fault, not the person, and what kind of accountability it required. Every single one of them was fighting for Cho Sik-bong and the numerous others who had endured traumatizing bullying and harassment. Park Byung-gu said that even though the court's decision wasn't exactly what they wanted, they hadn't given up on their fight either. Because of this, Cho Sik-bong was able to greet Jun-ho with a smile and appeared to be genuinely pleased with him. In the mid-credits sequence of Season 2 of DP, they had motivation to continue fighting because it showed that some wrongs had been righted. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please click on the like button and subscribe to the channel for the latest updates related to upcoming movies and series.